The Terps are unbeaten, 2 new coordinators, and early returns are really positive.
Is there any such thing as giving out Coach of the Year awards after 4 or 5 games? Because Mike Locksley would deserve it. I mean, think about what he did during the offseason, right? Both new coordinators on both sides. Pep Hamilton, who's the offensive coordinator and the play caller. He also has Hal Hunter to the offensive line staff. Those two have made an incredible difference with their offense. I think Pep has done an unbelievable job with Malik Washington. I think he's done a great job calling the defense. Ted Monachino, another NFL guy, just like we talked about Patricia at Ohio State, another NFL defensive coordinator coming to the college scene and making an impact. I find it interesting that the defensive coordinators that the head college coaches are hiring, like Monachino and like Matt Patricia, are defensive coordinators that have a great feel for when to pressure and when to cover. And I think the reason is it happens, the down and distance, the third and long, third and medium happens more in the NFL than it does in the college game, and yet the offenses are pretty similar scheme-wise. So they're defending pretty much the same offenses they defended in the NFL, but there was more opportunities that the offense threw the ball than they do in college. And so I think most of these guys, like Monachino, have a great feel, and he's done great things, especially when to pressure and when to cover. So I think Mike Locksley getting the locker room back, hiring Pep and hiring Ted, I think has been some great moves early in the season.
Well, Monachino certainly knew when to pressure against Wisconsin. They had 6 sacks last time out. It is fascinating to see the way that Malik Washington has developed here. I mean, really from the get-go, it felt like he was ready to go. We've got 4 games in the books. He's thrown for more than 250 yards in all of them, and he's done it, Jerry, without a great running game. How impressive is that? I mean, you touched on a little bit with the job Pep Hamilton has done, but particularly when they're not able to run the ball, I think, quite in the way that they want to. What does it tell you about the fact that Washington's still been able to maneuver his way through?
Well, he was at spring practice, and nowadays that's probably pretty common. I think a lot of teams have everyone at spring practice that they're going to have in the fall, where entire freshman classes get to campus in spring ball. So I think Malik's benefit spring practice certainly. I think Pep Hamilton, not only coaching the quarterbacks, but the play calling, I think, has been tailored around a very talented quarterback. You look at Bryce Underwood, you look at Malik Washington, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of difference. Following these 2 young quarterbacks is going to be a really fun thing to do as they go through their careers at Michigan and at Maryland. So Washington's just been really impressive. Interesting enough, I think he's better at the deep ball now than he is at the intermediate and the short ball. And I'd rather start with a quarterback that can throw the deep ball better than the short ball and the intermediate ball, because as we joke in the green room all the time, those back shoulder passes that used to be considered bad passes, now they're perfect passes, and he can do that. And that's how you're an explosive offense, when you can throw that deep back shoulder pass.
And they protected him well, too, giving up just 2 sacks so far on the year. So he's confident back there in the pocket. He'll face a Washington team that's coming off the loss, as we know, at home to Ohio State, although they certainly kept it close for a large portion of the game. We can talk about the job they did defensively and the challenge facing Washington, but I think when you're facing the Huskies, the big thing that you worry about is all of the offensive talent on this team, and we've kind of gone through the big 3, obviously with Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman and Denzel Boston. This is such a talented team here, Jerry. What's the challenge that's facing Maryland in this game of going up against Washington?
Yeah, well, let's put the Washington offense against the Maryland defense. The difficulty is that their offensive line is very athletic. I'm not sure how deep they are, but if they can stay healthy, their offensive line is pretty athletic. And this is one of the adjustments I think the West Coast schools had to make when they joined the Big Ten. Oregon's done it very well. Washington's done it very well. USC and UCLA probably not quite as well at the line of scrimmage, but Washington's really talented. Their offensive line, like I say, I'm not sure how deep they are, but they can bend. They're really athletic. And then you take those 3 skill guys that you mentioned, Rever, now I can run or I can pass against the Maryland defense. So I think that's the challenge for the for the Maryland defense rather. And remember, these are very aggressive play callers on the Washington staff. Jed Fish, he'll throw it from his own 1 yard line. I mean, you never really know what he's going to do. It's hard to get a tendency on him. And then on defense, you have Ryan Walters, who is a pressure guy. So both sides of Maryland football are going to be challenged by two aggressive play calls. The one interesting thing is, the Maryland Stadium isn't maybe one of the hardest stadiums to play. And I do think that travel for Washington team from the West Coast to the East Coast, I think that's a challenge. And the atmosphere might be a little bit of a challenge. It's not going to be a great environment. I mean, Maryland's had some good crowds. It's had some average crowds. And so the crowd at Maryland could help Maryland if everybody shows up. If not, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but the difficulty might be on the Washington sideline because it's an unusual environment, if I could use that term.
And they haven't really fared well away from home, no matter what the environment's been. Frankly, they're 1-7 away from true road games, I should say, as Washington's head coach under Jed Fish.